Hello to all our wonderful viewers out there. Welcome to another enlightening video. If you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends and family. Now let's dive into today's topic. Today, we're exploring a rather unconventional comparison: the parallels between jails and modern schooling systems. At first glance, you might wonder, how could these two vastly different institutions be similar? But if we delve deeper, some striking resemblances begin to surface. Consider this: both schools and jails operate on a rigid timetable. The day begins with a bell or a siren, followed by a series of structured activities, each signaled by the ringing of another bell. There's a specific time for everything from eating and studying to recreation. This strict regimentation of daily activities is a commonality that's hard to ignore. But the similarities don't end there. Have you ever thought about the concept of uniformity in schools? Not just the uniform dress code, but the uniform thought process that's often encouraged within these walls. Schools, much like jails, often promote conformity over creativity. Individuality, unique ideas, divergent thinking, these are frequently suppressed to maintain order and uniformity. This is not to say that all schools suppress creativity or that maintaining discipline isn't important, but the extent to which this is done can sometimes mirror the extreme uniformity seen in jails. And this can have serious implications on the personal growth and creativity of students. But what does this mean for our children's futures? It means we need to rethink our education system to strike a balance between discipline and creativity, to foster an environment that encourages independent thought and not just rote learning. As we can see, there are some striking similarities between the two systems. But what does this mean for our children's futures? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this topic in our next segment. Now that we've laid out the parallels, let's delve into the current state of schools and how this structure is leading to their downfall. We are standing at a crossroads in the world of education. Public schools, once the backbone of our education system, are facing growing dissatisfaction. Many parents and students are expressing concerns about the quality of education, the curriculum's relevance, and the overall environment in these institutions. This discontent is leading to an increasing demand for private education. Private schools, with their promise of better teaching and a more comprehensive curriculum, are becoming the preferred choice. They offer English lessons, which are seen as a gateway to better opportunities and are perceived to provide a more conducive environment for learning. But this shift towards private education is not without its challenges. The rising cost of private education is a significant concern. Inflation and economic uncertainty are making it increasingly difficult for families to afford private schools. In India, for instance, inflation reached a 17-month high, causing a significant number of parents to move their children from private to state schools. In the year 2021 alone, 4 million children made this switch, reversing a 2-decade-long trend. The financial strain of private education is not just a burden on families, but is also impacting the schools themselves. Some private institutions are resorting to measures such as cutting teachers' pay and even shutting down due to financial losses. This scenario paints a grim picture of the state of schools today. The decline of traditional schooling is not just about economic factors. It also reflects a broader societal shift in our perception of education's value. People are beginning to question whether the current education system, with its focus on rote learning and standardized testing, is truly preparing our children for the future. The educational landscape is changing rapidly and not always for the better. What can we do to improve the situation? Let's talk about the most important aspect: our children. How does the current schooling system impact their creativity and innovation? Think about it. Our traditional education system is based on a one-size-fits-all approach. Standardized tests, rigid curriculums, and a focus on rote memorization often inhibit the creative instincts of our children. Rather than fostering individuality, schools often encourage conformity, and this can significantly limit the way our children think, learn, and perceive the world. Take, for instance, the case of Albert Einstein, a man who needs no introduction. He was a notorious school dropout. However, he went on to revolutionize the field of physics with his theory of relativity.
This goes to show that a traditional school setting might not always be the ideal environment for nurturing creative minds. Another example is Sir Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group. He struggled with dyslexia and dropped out of school at 16, but his creative mind and entrepreneurial spirit led him to establish a business empire. Our education system as it stands today often values grades over actual learning and understanding. This approach can deter students from exploring their interests and pursuing their passion, causing them to lose their innate curiosity and creativity. We must remember that every child is unique, with their own set of skills, talents, and abilities. By pushing all children through the same rigid education mold, we risk suppressing their individual talents and creativity. Consider the arts, music, drama, painting, dance. These subjects often take a backseat in the traditional education structure, yet they are crucial outlets for creativity and self-expression. By neglecting these areas, we may be stifling the artistic potential of our young minds. Moreover, creativity is not just about the arts, it's also about problem solving, critical thinking, and innovation. It's about finding new ways to approach challenges and coming up with unique solutions. Sadly, our current education system often fails to cultivate these vital skills. Our children are our future. It's time to reconsider how we're nurturing their minds.
The problems are evident, but what's the solution? Let's ponder on how we can rethink education for a brighter future. In a world where conformity is often rewarded, it's time to explore alternative education models that foster creativity and individuality. Imagine a learning environment where every child's unique talents are recognized and nurtured. This might seem like a distant dream, but it's a reality we can strive to achieve. We can start by shifting away from the traditional one-size-fits-all approach to teaching. Instead, let's embrace personalized learning, where the pace, style, and content of education are tailored to each student's needs and aspirations. This approach nurtures a love for learning, encouraging students to pursue their passions and think critically. In this digital era, technology plays a crucial role in shaping future education systems. The rise of online learning platforms, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence offer exciting possibilities for education. They can make learning more engaging and accessible, breaking down geographical barriers and offering a wealth of resources at our fingertips. But as we harness the power of technology, we must also ensure that our education systems are inclusive and diverse. Education is a right, not a privilege. We must strive to create learning environments that are accessible to all, regardless of their economic background, gender, caste, religion, or disability. Inclusivity in education not only promotes social justice, but also enriches learning, as students are exposed to diverse perspectives and experiences. Moreover, we need to foster a culture of lifelong learning. In a rapidly changing world, learning cannot be confined to the four walls of a classroom or the first 2 decades of life. We need to empower individuals to continually learn, adapt, and grow throughout their lives. Finally, let's not forget the role of educators in this transformation. Teachers are not just transmitters of knowledge, but also mentors who can inspire, motivate, and guide students. By investing in teacher training, we can equip educators with the skills and tools they need to foster creativity and critical thinking in their students. Change isn't easy, but it's necessary for progress. Let's envision an educational system that fosters creativity, not stifles it. We've covered a lot of ground today. Now it's time to wrap up and look ahead. We've taken a deep dive into the parallels between jail and modern schooling, discussing how these seemingly different institutions share some striking similarities. We've talked about the regimented routines, the lack of creative freedom, and the emphasis on conformity that can be found in both environments. Then, we turned our attention to the decline of schools today. We examined how many educational systems around the world, while being well-intentioned, are falling short of fostering creativity, innovation, and independent thinking in students. We also delved into the impact of these issues on creative minds. We saw how, instead of nurturing their unique perspectives and talents, many schools are inadvertently stifling creativity and discouraging out-of-the-box thinking. And finally, we pondered on rethinking education. We discussed the need for a shift in perspective, From viewing education as a one-size-fits-all process to recognizing it as a platform that should encourage individual growth, exploration, and lifelong learning. But our journey doesn't end here. These are complex, multifaceted issues that cannot be solved overnight. It's up to all of us to keep this conversation going. We encourage you to think about these topics, engage in discussions, and share your thoughts and ideas. Remember, change begins with awareness and discussion. Whether you're an educator, a student, a parent, or simply someone who cares about the future of education, your voice matters. Your insights, experiences, and perspectives can help shape a better, more inclusive, and more innovative educational landscape. So let's continue this journey together. Let's ask the tough questions, challenge the status quo, and strive to create learning environments that inspire curiosity, foster creativity, and empower every learner to reach their highest potential. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, your voice matters in shaping the future of education. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.